Hey guys, and welcome to part 24 of my playthrough of Bloodborne at 60 FPS. So in this episode I wrap up the DLC and take on the final boss, the Orphan of Kos.
Or some say Cosm.
So I'll start the episode by tying up a few loose ends of the DLC, starting here with Simon, who I mistakenly thought I had actually missed out his footage, where you see him lying on the floor and is dying. So here he kind of pleads with you to end the nightmare.
And again, it never ends. Please, I need you. This village is the truth. It feeds this hunter's nightmare. Please, bring to an end the horror. So our forefathers sin. We hunters cannot bear their weight forever. It isn't fair. It just isn't fair.
And when he dies, he will drop Brador's cell key, as well as his bow blade. So next we return to the underground cells, where we will be invaded by Brador. In the last couple of invasions I don't think I killed him, but here I actually do take him on, and when he dies here he drops his kind of stag-like helmet, which is called Brador's Testimony. After this you can go down into his cell, and then of course you can decide to either kill him or not.
Welcome to me going to kill me. After all you've done, kill me. As if to right your wrongs. What is it? Or perhaps beg my forgiveness? Well, leave off. What's done is done. Nothing changes. Such is...
However, if you do kill him, which I do here, then he will drop his weapon, which is the Blood Letter. The Blood Letter scales well with Blood Tinge and Strength, and I couldn't demonstrate this weapon in this playthrough because my Blood Tinge stats weren't high enough to actually equip it. And this is one of the more annoying things about Bloodborne, that you can't equip weapons that you don't have the stats for. And here I take the path to find the one blood rock that we can get in the DLC, which we can get in the lower level areas of the fishing hamlet. You just have to be wary of the snail women that keep jumping around to try and attack you, as well as the witches who fire lightning bolts at you. And now it's time for the Orphan of Kos. So the Orphan is arguably the hardest boss in the entire game, because he is very aggressive and he does a lot of damage with his attacks. He's also very fast and quite unpredictable with his attacks, not to mention he's extremely noisy, which is keeping with the trend of the DLC bosses. Well, 3 out of 5 of the bosses at least. So in the first phase, the Orphan will charge at you with his placenta, which is of course his main weapon of attack, and he can do a series of swings with it, and these swings are naturally very dangerous and can do quite a lot of damage, so it's best to back off so you don't get caught in them. He will also do a big overhead slam attack as well, which can do serious damage and can potentially even one-shot you. When you see him do this, it's best to try and back off and quick step away from him. The Orphan can also throw some projectiles from his placenta, which will explode on impact. So the best thing to do here is to try and dodge right to avoid them. You can also perform a kind of bomb attack as well by dropping some slime into the ground, and this will cause an AoE explosion. The Orphan can also do a leaping attack, which can be easily avoided by quick stepping around him. One last attack he can do in the first phase is drag his placenta across the ground. This will trip the hunter off his feet and cause big damage. So again, you're best backing off here when you see him starting to drag his weapon across the ground, or if you time it carefully, you can pistol parry the Orphan and perform a visceral attack. As for a strategy for this fight, it is of course a very difficult fight, so the main key here is generally to be trying patient and carefully time your attacks, as well as try and hug the left side of the Orphan when he is attacking. Another idea is also to take the fight off the shore into the water, because there is more space on the water to move around. Another good idea is to use bolt paper, as the Orphan is weaker to bolt, as well as using fast weapons such as the Blade of Mercy or the Saw Cleaver. Another weapon which I found works very well here is the Shikage. If you use the Shikage in transfer mode, you can actually melt this boss's HP very quickly. Lastly, you could also use the Augur of Abritus as a very effective way to stagger the Orphan. This is another way to get visceral attacks into him. In the second phase, the Orphan will bite into his placenta, and he will of course become far more aggressive. The main difference between the first phase here now is that the Orphan can fly in the air, as well as hurl multiple projectiles at you in the process. Arguably, however, the most difficult attack in this phase is the lightning strikes, as the Orphan will scream out and this will summon big waves of lightning, so you've got to do your best to try and run between the lightning strikes in order to avoid being killed. And the Orphan is finally down. Yeah, so this is easily one of the hardest bosses in the game, and it's safe to say I struggled with him more than any other boss in this run. So once he's dead, we get the Kos Parasite weapon, which is an arcane weapon, and one last thing you need to do here is to slay the ghostly image of the Orphan, in order to end the nightmare.
Sweet child of Kos, returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea, accepting of all that there is and can be.
And with the Orphan gone, we now have Silent running and we can get some peace.
Great. Really great.
And that wraps it up for the DLC. And on returning to the Hunter's dream, the doll will have some new dialogue where she tells you that Gehrman is now sleeping more peacefully as a result of the Hunter ending the Hunter's nightmare.
But on this night, he sounds so very calm. Perhaps something has eased his suffering. Very well.
So that's it for this one, guys. In the next episode, I will return to the main game, and I will cover the boss fight for Mergo's Wet Nurse. So that's it for now, and I'll see you soon.